Hey, everybody. We are back again for another exciting episode of Successful Business Singles Podcast, doing our thing without a ring. I'm your host, Natalie Freeman. And as usual, y'all, we got some amazing, provocative guests who are going to inspire you, enlighten you, and encourage you to keep doing things during your single season. Now, this is a little different. In the past, we started just showcasing singles, talking about relationship issues. But now we have transitioned to our Freedom Financial Entrepreneur Series, where we spotlight owners who have scaled their businesses and are building companies, not just of income, but of value and significance. So today is no different. We got the man, the myth, the legend in the building, Brian Gordon. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
Good. Thank you for being here. How was your day, Brian?
Man, every day above ground is a good day, as far as I'm concerned.
Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? We start there. The rest are just details, right?
Hey, I'm trying to tell you.
I know that's right. So, of course, in the Tampa Bay area and abroad, you are well known. But just in case somebody is listening from across the country and hopefully from around the world, let's just give them a little bit about who you are. So Brian Gordon, y'all truly understand what it means to build something from the ground up. He's a veteran, entrepreneur, author, which we'll talk a little bit about later, artist, car connoisseur, and last but not least, the owner of Guns and Gars, a cigar brand that celebrates freedom and the second.
Yes, ma'am. Hey, you did a pretty good job there.
Oh, thank you. Now, I can't take no credit for that. We're going to get that all to my production staff. Thank y'all. Teamwork makes the dream work. Ain't that the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Anything else that we missed, Brian?
Man, it probably is, but I keep myself doing something, but you pretty much got everything.
I love it. Well, good. We're going to play a little commercial and let that tell the rest of the story.
All right, cool.
Hey guys, it's Brian Gordon, owner of Guns and Gars, home of the Second Amendment cigar. I'm at Corona Cigar Company, Lake Mary. Let me tell you a little bit about our cigars. I love guns, I love cigars, hence the Second Amendment cigar. Three blends. We have a Sweet Tip Connecticut. We also have a Habano Oscuro, and we have the Barbacoa, which is the best of both worlds, which combines both flavors. All Nicaraguan blend. Hey, we are the new kid on the block. We're new to the industry. However, we have an awesome product. You can find all our stuff at all Corona locations.
Brian, that's quite a combination.
Two of my passions, two of the things that I love.
It all made sense. And here's a little confession on my part. I don't know who watching, Pastor. You just close your ears and your eyes. Those might be two of my passions too, but that's all we're going to say about that. And we're going to keep on rolling. But Brian, again, it's such a unique combination. And we're going to talk about it a little bit later, how it's a passion birthed out of your pain. But for the business side of it, just tell us about how it came to be, how your vision started, and how you moved into entrepreneurship.
Well, initially, I am a Marine, so I've always had a passion for firearms and everything protection. And I initially wanted to start a security company. So when I started that security company, what also goes with security is obviously guns, right? So I got into the gun manufacturing game, and I was getting a lot of clients from Corona Cigar Company here in Tampa. A lot of clients I was getting, and I was like, man, you know what? There's a direct correlation between people that love firearms and people that love cigars. So I just wanted to figure out a way to be able to connect the two. So it made sense to call the company Guns and Gars, and the cigar collection, the Second Amendment collection.
I love it, y'all. So just all the smoke, this here, there, everywhere, all the smoke. So again, thank you for your service as well. As y'all notice, he said, I am a Marine. Y'all know how that goes. Marines never retire. Y'all always in
They
service.
never retire, baby.
So thank you for your service. But that is so cool because it was a passion of yours as you got out in the community. And I'm assuming you hanging out in one of your favorite smoke spots, Corona, you realized that other people had the same passion you did, and boom, a business was birthed.
Right.
But as most people know, there are always challenges in every stage of the business, including startup. So though you found a niche market right away, and though you found, it sounds like, clients right away, what were some of the challenges that you experienced when you first started?
Well, I don't really look at things as, I guess the way I look at things is problem solution. When I first came up with the idea, I actually bounced the idea off of someone that was already in the market of cigars, that was already doing it. And they told me the idea wasn't going to work. And tell you something about me. You tell me I can't do something, it's done. So I went home that night and started writing things down, brainstorming, and I came up with the concept of Guns and Gars. And I went from having the concept, the idea of the company to being on the shelf in about 6 months.
Wow.
So it moved pretty fast. So I guess I would say the biggest challenge probably would be just getting so narrow-minded on creating a brand and getting away from some other things that maybe I should be handling, or doing, tightening it up a little bit. But it's just the nature of the beast.
Yes, yes. And as a business owner, y'all, there are so many things to focus on every day. So you really have to maintain that focus on what is the main thing, sometimes on a daily basis. And sometimes those things change. Can you tell us about some of the things that you may be needing to put more energy or focus on?
Right now, I would just say technology. Right now, with the world changing, everything is shifting to artificial intelligence. So you're either gonna get with it or you're gonna get left behind. It's really that simple. I'm seeing a lot of people that are trying to fight the wave of AI, but there's no turning back. So now I'm just immersing myself in learning AI and everything that can help my business. Whether that be creating better systems around my security aspect of my business. There's so many things that AI can tie into the core of your business.
Very true. You have to stay on trend. And even y'all making sure your systems are tight. Y'all hear me talk about it all the time. One of the ways to scale your business and build the businesses of value is to make sure that you have instrumental systems in place and that you assess those systems every now and then. And so one thing that builds value, as a reminder, y'all, is your structural capital. And that's your systems, y'all. Remember that if you want to build companies of value, you've got to have that structural capital in place. So Brian, you mentioned your security business too. Are you still doing security?
Yes, the Tactical Society, which is the big logo behind me there, that company has a lot of moving parts underneath that umbrella. So there's the security services, there's the private investigation agency underneath that, there's firearm training, there's actually firearms. I have my own brand of firearms. Tactical Society is a brand. I also have my own gear, licensed trademark gear line too as well. So we have a ton of security services, a ton of private investigation services. So it's a one-stop shop for everything tactical and everything security.
Now that's quite an empire there, you guys. So let me run it back for the people just to make sure we got all your services. So you have the tactical company, firearms training, security. You have a book. You have your music.
Right. I just started that.
Yes, which we were definitely going to dive into in a
Yeah.
moment. Your guns. So
Yes.
you're a manufacturer of your own line of guns.
Yes.
And then the cigars. Tell us how having multiple revenue sources or streams has been a benefit to you scaling your business or creating a larger empire.
It's super important because when one thing slows down, you still have some income coming in. As being an entrepreneur, sometimes business is just not that good. There's no other way to put it. Some things, sometimes you have great months, sometimes you have sorry months. Things are just, you're trying to figure out how you're going to pay the bills. So me, it was just, I wanted to be able to create an ecosystem of where no matter what was going on, I still had a influx of revenue coming in.
I love that now. So let's talk about that even a little more because y'all know I'm an investment advisor by trade. So I believe in diversification, right? That's how we make the boat float around here because when one market is losing, usually another market is gaining. But for some people, those are a lot of lines. That means you got things to manage, inventory, patents, trademarks, people, all those things to manage. How do people know when this is a complementary service to have multiple income streams, or is it overwhelming? What's the metric there that helps you to scale your business?
Yeah, I'll just tell you right now, it's overwhelming. I'm not gonna bullshit you. It's overwhelming, but nonetheless, I created my businesses around things that I'm passionate about. So even when I don't necessarily feel like doing it, it still doesn't feel like work for me. So I think that's super important when starting a business is getting something that you truly have a passion for, things that something that you wouldn't mind doing if you didn't get paid. I know it's kind of cliche, but it's the truth. So when you create your business and you actually enjoy doing it, then those days where you struggle to get up in the morning and get things done, you have that extra little passion to get you through the day.
Absolutely. It's always the passion that drives you, that gets you up in the
Yeah,
morning. It's your why that keeps you going.
that's
And
right.
hopefully it helps everything smooth out on those days. The sales aren't there, your technical is acting up, your people don't come to work, those kind of things. Brian, do you have a team that helps you out in this endeavor?
Yeah, so I have a virtual assistant that I actually have a couple of them that help me out with all aspects of my business. For the most part, my employees on the security side is pretty plug and play. That's not really a pain point for me as the employees because I try to hire military veterans or people that
Mhm.
first responders, people that might have been a police officer or firefighters. They have I've found out in my business that those type of people we can line up as far as discipline wise a little bit better. They know
That makes
expectations,
sense.
and they know the mission, they know expectations. So it's easier for me to deal with that demographic in regards to
Mhm.
my business.
I love that too, because again, my passion also too, y'all, is to work with entrepreneurs and military personnel or transitioning servicemen and women. And so a lot of times they're looking for that what next. They're looking
Right.
for how can I translate the skills that I acquired while serving in the military now to the civilian world. And so I love that because you've given them an opportunity to also keep working and feel like people of worth. So thank you for that as well, because I heard that that's a struggle for some people in the transition for
Oh,
that.
yeah,
That is
most definitely. I
so y'all.
struggled.
You
I
did tell us
struggled a
about
lot,
that.
especially getting out of the military. That was a very difficult time for me in my life. Was trying to figure out what I wanted to do, and to be super honest with you,
Mm-hmm.
is I mentally wasn't even in a place to where just being in the workforce was a struggle for me. So
Wow.
I know a lot of that struggle with the transition from active duty to becoming a civilian
Mm-hmm.
and trying to find that brotherhood because that brotherhood they had, only thing they knew was the military. So it took me quite some time to be able to find my niche.
So, and thank you for that. Thank you for your transparency.
Yeah,
Again, working with a lot of veterans, I hear that a lot. Just trying to find your space, trying to prepare yourself mentally, emotionally, trying to get over PTSD and still try to figure out what's next does take some time. But you
yeah.
found it. Did you use your pain to propel you, or was there something that happened in your life that helped you come out of that and open this next chapter of your life?
It was a series of events that got me to this place of entrepreneurship. It was obviously things I struggled from getting out of the military. There was just things that my ways of coping with those events, the
Mm-hmm.
law, the death, the murder of my brother. There was quite a few events that propelled me to get in this space, right? So
Mm-hmm.
again, my passion is protection. I've always been a protector, even at a young age, even when a kid shouldn't have to be one, right? From that to protecting my country, to getting out, and I was just trying to figure out what is the one thing that I love to do, what is the one thing that I've always been good at or I feel that I'm my best at, and that's been
Mm-hmm.
protection. So that's how I in this lane. I wanted to be able to. I didn't want people to feel the way I felt during certain circumstances and events that happened in my life. So I wanted
Mm-hmm.
to be the person to be able to fulfill my purpose, and that's where I'm at.
I so appreciate that. So, y'all,
Yeah,
if you're just tuning in, this is the Successful Business Singles Podcast. We're doing our thing without a ring, our Freedom Financial Entrepreneur Series, CEO, mogul, artist, veteran entrepreneur, Brian Gordon, y'all. Brian, you were just talking about how you being a natural protector, a protector by birth, a protector even in circumstances that were unorthodox, and especially serving a country when your military career started out not really loving you, but you kept doing it anyway. A lot of that stuff, y'all, is in his book. Here it is. Get you one. Tell your story.
that's
So
right.
they know.
We won't say the other part.
But it's right here. You can figure it out. Here it is. It's the easy read. You see, it's thin, but it is jam packed of intrigue, absolute authenticity, y'all. Just the things that he shared about his family, his feelings, just where life did him dirty right from the beginning when he was trying to do right. And all through it, I felt like the theme was everybody's got pain, but let that pain drive your purpose. Did I get what you were trying to convey from the
Oh,
book?
hey, you said it better than me.
Oh, come on now.
Yeah, you said it better than me. You're on point.
I read it. I read it again. I tried to leave it out so my son would
Yeah,
read it. Because even as a Black man, y'all, in the military, a Black man in the world, and even for my son, I didn't do everything right. You talked about how you felt that about your mother, and you talked about it very candidly. So I was trying to give him some frame of reference that if this is how you feel, be how you feel, or feel how you feel, but then what next? Use it to propel you to the what. So just getting into you personally, you've used a lot of that to build a business, to write this book. Thank you so much. Y'all, the book signing was amazing. I won my gun there too, by the way. And even in your music, I've been listening to your music. And so tell us about that. Now, first of all, just tell us a little bit about some of your singles, what may be your favorite single. Now, are you singer and songwriter on these songs?
No, so your boy can't sing. All right. So
yeah, because I ain't think that voice was yours, but I ain't want to make no assumptions.
If I could sing, this would be a total different conversation. I'll tell you that.
So you probably wouldn't even be sitting here right now.
But so for me, the music is, again, it's always been something that I've been passionate about. It's something that helped me deal with a lot of the things that I had going on in my own head. So yes. It was my way of coping, and it was just my way of releasing a lot of that energy, well, negative energy that sometimes you throughout the day that you have a long day at work, you come home. That's my way of unwinding. Cigar, maybe a glass of whiskey, or maybe just put on some good sound. So that's my way of how I deal. So again, it was just another way for me to be able to have some fun, and if I make $1, hey, even better.
Hey, listen, y'all, ain't nothing wrong with translating your passion into profit. And Brian, you've done an amazing job of doing all of that. And so, did the music unlock the book?
Oh, well, you asking some good questions. I would say
that's what I do, brother.
I would say the music unlocked the book, because I never thought I would be someone that wrote a book. I never thought I would be an author. I'm talking to somebody that barely graduated high school, not because I wasn't smart enough, just because my attention span wasn't long enough to be able to concentrate in school. I hated school. But nonetheless, music was always something that I've had a passion for, even as a kid. So writing a book, I have to give a shout out to Dr. Dobson.
Absolutely, Genevieve, come on. Woo, woo.
She probably was the main reason why this book is even a thing, right? She really urged me to tell my story. I felt confident enough to share some of my writings with Jen, because Jen served on my nonprofit at the time. And she was someone that I admired for her work ethic and how selfless she was. So I felt safe enough sharing some of my writings with her. And when I did that, she immediately returned with hey, we need to put this into a book, Brian. And I was like, nah. And this went on for about 6 months, back and forth, man. And then she finally broke me down. I was like, all right, cool. Only if you're going to do the editing. So that's how the book came to be.
I love it. And here it is, y'all. That's so amazing, y'all. That's so important. As you can see, Brian's a successful person, but even to his own admittance, he wasn't the best in school, but he kept going. He persevered. He allowed his pain to be converted to passion, now to profits. Come on now. But it's when you let people in your circle, and I'm sure that even took a lot of vulnerability to find the right people for your foundation board. It still takes a lot of vulnerability to allow people into that inner me, especially when it's broken, when you're angry, when you're upset, you still got a piece of unforgiveness rolling around. But then she took that, and hey, the world needs to hear this story.
And that was something I wrestled with God about too. And I just remember from going through a lot of the unfortunate circumstances that I went through, especially being in the military. I remember some of the promises that I had promised God, that if he got me out of some of these situations, that I would glorify his name. So that book was my way of doing that. And I know it wasn't, I look at the cover, and I wanted to get people's attention, right? And the people's attention that I wanted to get were the people that feel like they have to have it all together before they can have a relationship with God. I wanted to be the bridge to be able to connect those people with God, right? I'm not talking to the holier than thous in this book. That's not the purpose of that book. Right. That book was to get people to the people that were struggling with pain, traumas, addictions, you name it. I wanted those people to read that book, and I wanted those people to start having a relationship with God. So that's why that book looks like that. That's why it sounds like that. And that's why I wrote it.
I love it. Like everything about you, I feel is just real and raw. Like the Guns and the Gars, this book, y'all, and he is being very humble. But his story, y'all, we ain't gonna tell you. You're gonna have to buy the book and read it. His story is amazing. Just the injustices, he still got through it. Angels surrounding him all through that process. The little lady, the little librarian. Come on now, don't get me excited. I love this book. And then his music, y'all. Again, even the music, he talking about the Lord. He is glorifying God, but you might clutch your pearls a little bit and be like, oh, anyway. But it's to it.
Wait till you hear the soundtrack. So there's a soundtrack that I made that's based off the book.
Oh, come on now. This man got so much going on. It's just unreal. I love it. And he has blended it all together. And it is so his brand. Y'all listen to his music. I love it. I've been listening to it. Ashes on the Dashboard is my favorite. You get your favorite. You put it in the comments what you think it is.
Hey, that's when I was real wild. That's when I was kind of going through something. And that's, again, I'm not telling stories or writing music on the goody two-shoe. I'm telling real stories about where I was leading up to where I am, and even some of the downfalls. I think that's the beauty in life, that if you get to experience it while we're here. So I think that's just how it is.
That is the beauty of life. And I tell people, because I also mentor y'all entrepreneurs, I do investment advising, but I do also business coaching for the business owner, their team, and the enterprise itself. 3 different tiers of coaching. But I tell people, as entrepreneurs, we almost have a platform to be community influencers and impact our community through our stories, through our brand, through our products and services. And people need real and raw. I don't care who you are, what net worth level you're at. Brian, we've all been through something. And it's those people who can literally get undressed in front of people, give it to them all, then let them know it was God who got me through. If that's what you believe, that's what I believe. And be really authentic about that. One thing I loved about your book signing was to see all those men. You had women on your panel too, but all those men who just really gave God the glory for the life and the success that they now have. And that was really, I feel like it was one of the most powerful parts of your book signing, which is amazing. And then you're just really putting yourself out there. And it takes not just a strong person, but a strong man, especially in this society where we have really closed men off from showing all sides. Again, to me, that just makes you such a multifaceted and amazing person. So thank you for that.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Now we're gonna wrap it up soon, but I'm sure the ladies see you. You're easy on the eyes, big strong man, guns and Gars and things. And so, has your singleness impacted your brand for the good or the not so good?
Oh, you're gonna put me on the spot like that.
And you can choose to not answer any question, but you got to throw a few things out there because that's what keep the people coming back for the next episode.
I'll just say it's been challenging, and I think the reason why. I'm gonna take onus for a lot of the reasons, and I am so focused on my purpose of why God created me and the things that I promised. I made some promises, which I don't want to say on the podcast, but if you read the book, I'm sure you'll probably get a better understanding. But I made a lot of promises to God of things that I was going to do if I was saved from certain situations. So for me, one is me fulfilling that promise, and finding someone that will support that promise and that purpose, and also be able to be a loving partner, is very challenging. And I wrap my mind around my purpose comes before my personal choices. So if I find love, I will welcome it. I would love to be in a relationship, but also I am in love with peace. I am in love with my freedom, and I am in love. So if it happens, it doesn't. To be honest with you, man, a lot of time I sit here in my house and I'm alone, and I'm okay with it. So I'm not one of these people that feel like they have to be with somebody. So
that is so big, y'all.
That's probably the realest I can be with my relationship status right now is very much single.
I love it, and y'all ain't nothing wrong with it. You said so much that we really gonna have to have you back on to unpack some of that stuff. But when your purpose supersedes your personal desires, that's big. And for Brian to say he can sit in a silence alone and be totally fine, that's also big. A lot of people, y'all, don't love themselves. So how can you expect somebody else to love you if you're not happy just being with you? Whole nother show. We're gonna
and Natalie, I do want to say something too. I want people to know too that took a lot of work for me to get here.
To that point.
I wasn't always that person that could sit still. I always felt like I had to be somewhere. I always felt like I had to be the life of the party. I always felt like I had to have a whole lot of stuff that probably wasn't good for me, right? But at this point in my life, I find I have a strong passion for just being at peace, and I'm loving where I am. It's a good place to be at.
Thank you for sharing that too. And I love that you said it as a man, because sometimes they feel like, oh, we women say do the work. What you talking about, women? Do the work. I got myself. I'm all right. Sometimes it does take work, y'all. And I know for me, the things I've been through, it took work. And so we're looking for men who are also willing to do the work as well. So thank you as a man to say, I ain't always been here. I'm here now. But there was a gap in between of when I had to.
For my guys, man, I think a lot of us don't even know we need help.
Walking heavy, Brian Gordon.
It's not that they don't want it. It's just I think a lot of men, we've been wired, we've been programmed to not need help. And you don't realize until you hit a point to where you hit a brick wall and you're like, oh, this ain't right. You know what I mean? So
you don't have to have you back to talk about that, because I was gonna ask you how, as women, can we be supportive of men, not to beat it down their throats that they need help, but to help them come to the revelation that, oh, you're right, I do need help. So
that's a tough one. I think because for men, we have to be ready. We have to be able to be at a place to where we want to do that on our own.
Yes.
You can say something. I'm not saying you can't mention it, but until a man is ready to be able to look at some of the things that he's struggling with and maybe has happened to him in the past, then that's never going to happen. And again, a lot of men don't even know that they need some help. And I wanted to be a component of that, to be able to be a man, to be able to tell them, hey, look, it's okay to be able to have to talk to somebody about something that happened to you. You'd be surprised at how many men that reach out to me via inbox regarding the book and mention things that have happened to them in the past.
I would not be surprised. This was a bomb. And when that bomb went off for me, I know how it affected me. So I can only imagine how being a man speaking to men, that's such a powerful combination, y'all, when men can get together and speak to men to create better men.
Oh, yeah. And it's not a weakness. It's actually a strength. I think that's one of the biggest facades, especially in our community, is looked upon as men talking about their feelings or things that happened to them as a weakness. It's actually a superpower. So once you can figure out why you have certain behaviors because of things that you went through in the past, it turns you into a whole another animal. And again, it's something that I wouldn't change for the world. I'm glad I had all the experiences that I had, both good and bad.
Yes, and that was another thing that really spoke volumes to me. Just the transparency of the things that you all shared on the panel. And I'm sure not just you, but a lot of men on that panel, other men do come to, because you're able to be vulnerable, not just behind closed doors, but in a very public setting. Brian Gordon, I can just go on and on. We won't, because I know you got things to do, and I try to keep these short so people can keep coming back. How are you going to exit this business? Are you going to exit this business?
Nah, man, I'm gonna keep doing this till I can't do it.
You're gonna ride to the wheels fall off.
I would be lying to you if I said I was looking to get out of it. I'm having too much fun. I feel like I'm just starting.
I love it. So listen, y'all, we talk about exit strategies because as much as entrepreneurs say that they are going to be in it forever, sometimes at some point people do want to retire. Sometimes at some point, some people have to retire, y'all, involuntarily. So check out those other shows where I talk about the 5 Ds that can destroy a building, a business: death, disagreement, disabilities, disasters, those kind of things, y'all, because we want to have a plan either way, whether you're going to ride it till the wheels fall off or whether you're going to have a plan of transition. Make sure you have it before you have to have it. And make sure that when you are building a business, that you're not only building a strong net worth of the business, you're also building personal net worth as well. Brian Gordon, you are an amazing man. We thank you for your service. We thank you for your transparency. And we thank you just for being a powerful pillar in the Tampa Bay community and abroad. You want to leave anything with the people?
Nah, just tell people, hey, look, get out of your own way. If there's something you want to do, you do it now. There's no such thing as tomorrow. It's not even real. Get it done today.
Now, that's the truth. Do it now, everybody. Do it now. So this has been the Successful But Single podcast, the Freedom Financial Entrepreneur Series. If you want to tell your story on this show, hit us up at successfulbutsinglepodcast@gmail.com or any of our Freedom Financial Consulting handles on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all the places we out there, y'all. Again, trying to help people not just build successful businesses, but significant businesses. Until next time.